Let me ask you a question. What's worse, seeing your favorite character in Game of Thrones die on Sunday on HBO, or actually being betrayed by your best friend in a game of Game of Thrones 2nd edition board game? This game is one of my favorite games I have on the shelf. It gets played frequently in my gaming group. This is a game for 2 to 6 players where you pick one of 6 houses and make your stake for the Iron Throne. You do this by manipulating your opponents, by forging alliances, and then breaking such alliances to get ahead. This is not your traditional Risk clone that you see in a lot of different military strategy games. This game has an intrigue system and a way for you to bet on who is going to be what within the kingdom. There's a lot of things going on for this game. I think its estimated retail price is about $50 to $60. I think you can get it on Cool Stuff Inc. for around $40. It's one of my favorite games. I highly recommend you check it out, and it is the perfect thing to lead up into Game of Thrones premiere episode on Sunday. So for us, it takes us about 4 hours to get through a session if we're playing with all players. I could see where it could take a little less, and I could see where it could take a little more. It depends on how or what your gaming group is going to be built up as to how the game's actually going to be played. This game is absolutely fantastic. I rate it at easily a 9 out of 10. Now I will say I have had people that have played it and loved it just as much as I have, and I've had people that played it and kind of got frustrated because they may have not have been as strategical as they should have been and ended up getting pigeonholed. So I'll leave it up to you to decide whether this game's going to be worth it. I say it's a must-have for any game shelf out there and a must-have for any gaming group. Absolutely perfect. Check it out. Thanks so much. Okay, just to get things out of the way, my official score for this game, because I like to do that first, is going to be a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this game. This is the 2nd edition version of Game of Thrones, the board game. And I know one of the main differences between the 1st and 2nd editions of the game is that the expansion pack actually comes included with this game. Now, in this game, you're going to play one of 6 houses of Westeros. You're either going to be House Baratheon, House Tyrell, House Martell, House Stark, House Lannister, or House Greyjoy. So choose however you want, and the game actually will let you know which houses are unavailable if you're not playing with the max number of players. I believe Martell and Tyrell on this side of the map are going to be unavailable for anything but a 5 or 6 player game, and then I think it's whoever you want to be from the rest of the map if you're playing anything out of that. Fantasy Flight actually has a very, very good how to play this game, but this is something, again, much like the Resistance video that we have, that cannot necessarily be just follow the rules type game, because you don't really get the concept of the game. This is the Game of Thrones. You're playing for the Iron Throne. And when I say that, I mean you do whatever you have to do, make whatever agreements you need to make with your fellow players, and then do what must be done in order for you to get there. It's really a savage world when you think about it. Every turn, or actually, I'm sorry, every turn you're going to flip over one of 3 different staging cards. And these cards allow you to do different things, from muster forces, resupply, maybe even allow you to bid on the influence tracks. And the influence tracks are one of my favorite pieces of this game. The first track of the game is the actual Iron Throne. And what makes this piece so powerful is that you actually get to be the decision maker on any tie set in the game. Very powerful token. The next track is the Valyrian Steel Blade. This was actually brought to you by Fantasy Flight Games. Again, thank you so much, Fantasy Flight, for replacing it. Now I have a nice new unbroken Valyrian Steel Blade. And hopefully I can keep it away from my friends and my son to make this one last a little longer. Again, free of charge. I can't say that enough. I didn't say that this was going to be for a video. I just said we misused the token, it broke, and the guys at Fantasy Flight said that they would do whatever they could, and then within 2 days I had a shipping confirmation they had sent this to me free of charge. Amazing. Can't say enough about that service. Absolutely fantastic. This token allows me to add a combat modifier to one of my current battles that I'm in. Once I use it, it is used for my turn, and I flip it over so that shows it's exhausted on the red side. The Messenger Raven allows me to do a couple different things. It either allows me to see the top card on the Influence deck. It allows me to see the top card of the Wildlings deck. It also allows me to switch over one of my tokens that I placed, which is basically one of my order tokens. However I see fit, after I see everyone's resolve, I can actually flip one out. Very powerful token to have as well. So when you bid on the influence track, you will have tokens of power, basically, which are represented by your house logo. It's a little small symbol. And you will gain these throughout the game on wherever lands you control that have an actual crown on them. I will be able to relay an order that allows me to get power tokens equal to the number of crowns that I have. So what I will do in the case of actually bidding on these tokens, or bidding on these influence tracks, is I will, one track at a time, take secretly my number of tokens I'm willing to bid. We all put it in the center, and then we reveal at the same time. Now, I could be bluffing and bid 0, or I could actually really want whatever token or whatever track it is I'm bidding on and spend all I've got. I will say the top section of the map has to do with wildlings. When wildlings attack, whatever the top card is, you flip over and resolve. Now there is an ability for every house to be able to contribute their power to help stop that card. However, if you do not need the number of power equal to finishing off that card, the wildlings attack and bad things could happen to your army or kingdoms. Speaking of your army, in this game you'll have 4 different units that you're controlling. You'll have ship icons, which are for traversing the water. You will have siege icons, which are great for taking keeps. And you will have knight icons and footman icons. Now these all have a flat value. Footmen are 1, knights are 2, ships are 1, and siege engines are 4 if you're attacking a keep. Now, your max army size is all dependent on the number of your actual supply count that you have. Depending on how many supply, which are the barrel icons that you have, when the last time that you had a supply phase, it shows you how many armies and what sizes you can have. It's considered an army if you have more than 2 units in the same space. So I could potentially have 1 unit all over the place and consider to have 0 armies. Now, it probably would be a very effective strategy. That aside, again, this is a general overview, and I recommend you check out Fantasy Flight's tutorial for actually how to play. When it comes to actually issuing orders, I will secretly put an order token on any square that I have any tile that I have a unit on. And these units are either defense, which will basically just say hold your position and defend. There is a reinforcement, which allows you to reinforce areas, adjacent areas, sorry. There are march orders, which allows you to move and subsequently attack. There are raid orders, and then there are power orders. Raid allows you to cancel another token that's out there, and the power orders allow you to resolve power, which gives you more tokens to spend on bidding on influence tracks and also bidding on the wildlings attack. Now, in this game, you're trying to conquer 7 keeps. And you're going to play this game until you have conquered 7 keeps, or until 10 rounds have surpassed. So this game is on a timer. You have 10 rounds to gain 7 keeps. As soon as somebody hits 7 keeps, the game is over. It doesn't matter if it's on turn 2 or on turn 10. If you, however, somebody doesn't get to 7 keeps, you keep playing until you get past round 10, and then whoever has the most keeps shares victory. A very, very good game. I recommend it. It's a little bit pricey, but kind of on average on what you would expect from a deluxe board game. Definitely check it out. I guarantee you, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones or the Song of Fire and Ice saga, or even George R. R. Martin, or dragons, or anything mythological, or anything fantasy, or just medieval warfare, you will like this game. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook, and game on.